just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. Hey guys, what's up? Today we are going to be talking about the ongoing SmartBoom drama situation thing. Perhaps it was my hubris telling me that I was only going to have to make 2 videos regarding this, but I think now that I'm in it, I can't just stop. So there have been more developments as of yesterday, July 5th. I'm filming this on today, July 6th, that I feel because I have covered the first part of this story, I have to keep going. As always, let's keep it supportive of Smart and Boom in the comments. It really seems like they are just kind of caught in the middle of this dispute between companies. And I once again always wish that these companies could have just kept it offline and kept it professional. But here we are now, and I feel like I have begun covering the story. So I will continue. In the time since we left off, which, if memory serves, was kind of the announcements officially saying, like, they're over, Smart Boom is over, sorry, bye bye, there has been a large supportive movement online, specifically from their fan club Oralis. There has been Smart Boom, not posters, Smart Boom billboards. That's the word I was looking for. There have been Smart Boom billboards everywhere. There's been petitions by the fans. There's also been, I think I remember seeing part of the fan club, part of Oralis was saying, like, we are going to help raise money to buy Smart out of his contract with GIR, which I appreciate the sentiment, but things are usually a little more complicated than that. But again, I think it's a sweet thought of the fans to do. There have also been videos of Smart and Boom taking pictures in front of their CP billboards that Oralis have put up, which have been really sweet. And I follow Smart on Instagram, so I've been seeing him post solo stuff, which I'm sure is part of his contractual obligation with GIR. So it's just a really interesting time right now. But through all of this, Smart has continued to have solo activities through GIR, which, if memory serves where we left off with GIR, they insisted it was their right as his management company to continue to do solo stuff with him because they have officially declared the contract with Headliner slash WeTV as invalid. It seems to be that WeTV slash Headliner does not agree that the contract has been declared invalid, and they have issued a response. They've issued a response in light of these solo events that have been going on. I have actually not read this yet. I just heard about it going on online spaces, and then I decided to film this video. So that's kind of the backstory and how we got to where we are right now. Interestingly enough, I feel like I'm seeing parallels between this situation and sort of ish like the New Jeans Adore situation. Like, it kind of seems to be that GIR is just like, the contract is over because we say it's over. And Headliner's like, that's not how ending a contract works, actually. And I feel like New Jeans did something similar. They kind of were like, hey, we want our contract to be over because we say it's over. And Adore is like, you actually have to prove stuff in court, though. So, like, it's not over until the court declares it over. That kind of seems to be, those are some similarities that I see between the two. And I'm not trying to make a grand statement about Smart Boom, about New Jeans, about whose accusations are right or wrong or true or false. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, what happened is one thing, but if you want to break these contracts, if you want things to move forward in a legal way, you have to prove they happened in a court of law. And that is something different. I don't know if that is a process that GIR is going through right now with WeTV slash Headliner, or if they're just kind of boldly going forward, assuming that the contract is over because they said it was. I don't know. I've also heard that apparently the CEO of GIR is like, I don't know if it's like that she's not qualified for the job or people think she's not qualified, or they're saying that she's like weirdly trying to insert herself into the situation, which, like, on the one hand, yes, you're sort of involved, but you personally are not involved. GIR is involved. You as an individual person are not really involved in this. Like, nobody knows who you are. I don't know who this person is.
Basically, there's a lot of chatter about the CEO, but I can't quite get to the bottom of how that all started.
Anyway, today we are here to cover WeTV's newest statement that was put out on July 5th on, I believe it was put out on the app formerly known as Twitter. That was the place I found it. So I looked on WeTV's Instagram and I couldn't find it there, which I think is really interesting because I feel like the main arena of this battle has been Instagram. So it's interesting that I could only find this on the app formerly known as Twitter. If it's in other places, maybe I just couldn't find it, but that's where I found it. And I found it translated into English on the app formerly known as Twitter by SmartBoom underscore FC, which I believe is fan club. That you can find them by that name on TikTok, Instagram, and the app formerly known as Twitter. So thank you to SmartBoom underscore FC for your translation prowess. But let us do keep in mind this is a translation from a fan club account. This, as far as I can tell, is not like an official translation from WeTV. So keep that in mind as we're going forward. But I will read the statement now. Regarding the above recent breach of contract by Grand Ivory Record Co. and its artist Smart Chisanupong Pongmani, thereafter referred to as Mr. Smart, WeTV hereby states officially as follows. Thereafter referred to, that's a $5 word right there. That's a good one, or a $5 phrase, I suppose I'll say. WeTV hereby states as follows. 1. Since the receipt of Grand Ivory Records' unilateral termination notice of cooperation, WeTV has continuously shown a positive and honest attitude by presenting various rounds of good faith measures. However, Grand Ivory Record and Mr. Smart have shown no respect for the spirit of the agreement, refused to fulfill their contractual commitments, and continued insisting on ending the cooperation. 2. Given the severity of this infringement and the legal implications, WeTV remains the primary organizer of the relevant performance activities of Mr. Smart. Let's read that again. Given the severity of this infringement and the legal implications, WeTV remains the primary organizer of the relevant performance activities of Mr. Smart. So they're saying by GIR doing what they did, that was not a valid contract termination. Therefore, the original contract is still in place, and GIR is infringing on that original contract, which gives WeTV, in their eyes, legal standing to pursue. I guess they could pursue damages. I'm not sure if they could pursue like a, oh, I was saying it in my last video, action in equity, an equitable, uh,
Equitable remedy.
basically where you're suing someone not for money, but to get them to do something. So I guess they're saying that they have now the legal grounds to pursue that because GIR is still going forward solely managing Smart Schedule. And they're saying, hey, our contract is not null and void just because you say it is. You can't do that. That's what I'm taking that sentence to mean. Any public appearances or commercial cooperation initiated without the approval of WeTV constitute a grave contractual violation. Thus, WeTV issues the following official warning to Grand Ivory Records and Mr. Smart should these infringements not be halted. WeTV shall initiate all necessary legal actions to safeguard its rights and interests without exception. I know earlier, I think it was a statement by GIR where they were like, nobody's sued us yet. And I made the point to say yet. If I had to guess, I would think that there's these ongoing negotiations happening behind the scenes, but WeTV is also watching and seeing and they're building a case to pursue legal action. Like, it's one thing to say they declared the contract null and void, and we say it's not, and we're going to sue them. But now they have actual, they said the contract was null and void. WeTV does not agree by the terms of the contract language, whatever that is. Now they have GIR and Smart actually acting against the contract. So now they have a lot more that they could use in a court against GIR and presumably Smart. Though I suppose from what we've seen, if the contract is just between GIR and WeTV, I don't think Smart would be named in a lawsuit. I could be wrong. That's just a guess. But he might be called as a witness or something like that. It's kind of like when you shoplift from Target and they wait and they wait and they gather evidence against you until you've shoplifted enough for it to be a felony, and then they start to pursue legal action against you. It's not quite the same, but it kind of seems like they were already not agreeing with the contract termination, but then they were just waiting for GIR to do things against the contract that they believe is still in place to then have an even stronger case against GIR. I really enjoyed my business law class, if you can't tell. Point three, with regard to the effects of Grand Ivory Records and Mr. Smart's infringements on relevant projects, WeTV will negotiate in good faith with its partners from time to time to find reasonable solutions together and will take legal action as necessary to strongly protect the legitimate rights and interests of itself and its partners. WeTV has consistently adhered to the contract spirit and upheld the principles of equity and fairness in cooperative undertakings. We urge all parties to work together to ensure industry order. Any breach of contract will be subject to applicable legal responsibilities. It basically seems just kind of like what I said. They are negotiating behind the scenes because GIR says the contract is over, WeTV says it's not. And then as GIR was going forward, behaving as if the contract was null and void, WeTV is like, okay, now we have evidence. We've got count one, you did this event. Count two, you did this event. Count three, you're doing these events. And assuming contractually Smart is still under WeTV, they're still within the promotional period of top form, because in the earlier statements, they were saying they had plans all the way through October to continue promoting top form and SmartBoom as a CP. So any solo events not under WeTV would be counted as potentially working against the IP, the IP being top form, and then SmartBoom being the CP that is kind of like this money making powerhouse, or was. I don't know if this was an empty threat or not. I don't think it is. WeTV is pretty established. They have a lot of backing. They've got a strong history. They have a strong brand, much stronger than GIR's. So I would believe they would have the resources and the money and the time to legally pursue this if they wanted to. GIR, as far as I know, only manages Smart. Do they manage anybody else? It's nobody that I've ever heard of.
It seems like they manage other musicians, but no other actors, from what I can tell.
I just don't know if they'd be able to go up against WeTV in court. Maybe. And then I'm sure Smart would probably get dragged in for like testimony. At the very least, he'd be part of the discovery process. I don't know if all of this works the same in Thailand. I'm just kind of throwing out the system I'm familiar with. I don't know, but it just seems messy. And it's so interesting because from Smart's social media, he really does seem like he wants to keep working together. Like he wants to continue as Smart Boom. He wants to continue with the top form story. But in WeTV's statements, they aren't just calling out GIR, they're calling out Smart too. And it just seems strange that like he's behaving this one way and then WeTV is calling him out like this. And I don't really know what to think because I don't know with all of the legal implications in this statement. I don't know if WeTV would just be throwing around his name willy nilly. But then also, I mean, It's hard to really trust any of these companies and whatever they're doing because it seems like they're always doing something shady, you know? But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that WeTV is going to sue GIR? If they do you think they're also going to name Smart specifically in the lawsuit? Or do you think they will only be suing GIR? Do they even have the ability to sue Smart individually? Because I feel like that's why people sign contracts with management companies, because it limits your personal liability and exposure. But I don't know if Thai law is different. And what do you think about Smart on his socials, like thanking the fandom, taking these pictures with these billboards, but then also being named specifically in this statement by WeTV? Let me know what you all think. I'm very curious. But that is all for today. I guess we will see where this story goes moving forward. Quickly before I go, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if this is the kind of content that you are interested in. Follow me on my other social medias. They'll be linked in my link tree in the description box below. Share this video with a friend who also loves SmartBoom. And please, if you are so inclined, join my channel memberships. They're only 99 cents a month and you get early access to most of my videos. There has been one that I wasn't able to give early access to because it took like 3 days to upload and I was not anticipating that to happen. I did not know the internet would be that bad where I was. So my track record is not perfect, but it's about as close to perfect as it can be. Piggybacking off of that, a big shout out to my channel members. Thank you so incredibly much for your support. It means so much to me. And I hope everybody is enjoying these videos and enjoying keeping up with the Smart Boom Dashians. I think that was only funny to me, but that's okay. But that is all for today, and I will see you guys next time.